Vladimir Lenin and Joseph Stalin were largely the reason for the existence of the Soviet Union. Without each other's skills and various talents, the Bolshevik Party would have surely collapsed. Indeed, during the Russian Revolution, the two were incredibly dependent on each other. However, the relationship of Lenin and Stalin was one of sand, and was often shaken by political, intellectual, and tactical differences. Even in the early lives of Lenin and Stalin, a noticeable divide is recognizable. Lenin was born into a comfortable life, originally named Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov, with a schoolteacher mother and a father who gained the status of nobility under the Tsarist regime, which Lenin never explicitly attempted to hide. His brother and sister Alexander and Anna were both radical with their politics previously to the young Lenin and attempted an assassination on the Tsar, leading to the hanging of his brother and the banishment of his sister. Later, Lenin studied law at the University of Kazan and then the University of St. Petersburg after a 3-year expulsion from his previous university due to participation in student riots. He excelled in school and studied 5 different languages. He was described as being fond of children and cats, an avid hiker with his wife, and a hobbyist photographer. Stalin, on the other hand, was born into a small town in Georgia as Iosip Vissarionis Jugashvili. His father was an alcoholic who left Stalin and his mother destitute while the boy was in his teens. During his schooling, Russian culture and language was heavily imposed upon Stalin and his classmates, causing Stalin to, for a time, become a Georgian nationalist. He discovered the writings of Marx and Engels while in seminary school, where he excelled, but was expelled from just before his final exams. For reasons disputed and even made unclear by Stalin's own accounts, his left arm was permanently about 2 inches shorter than his right. This prevented him from serving in the Russian military during World War I and was also something that he was extremely embarrassed by. He rarely allowed for photographs that showed both of his arms, and if there was, he would try to pose so that the difference was less noticeable. Stalin was insistent that his classmates call him Kobar, after the Robin Hood-like character in the novel The Patricide. While the nickname never stuck, Stalin continued to use it even into his political career. Lenin and Stalin met for the first time when Stalin had been chosen by the Bolshevik faction of Georgia to represent the Caucasus at a Bolshevik conference in Finland. Lenin had already taken notice of Stalin as he had been practicing guerrilla warfare in an effort to undermine the Mensheviks. It was here that the terms of the relationship that Lenin and Stalin would have were forever set in stone. Stalin, though a longtime admirer of Lenin, found disagreement in many of his political ideologies and was unafraid to argue with him. However, Lenin recognized a strong monetary advantage in keeping Stalin an ally. Stalin had been carrying out numerous crimes, most notably bank robberies, in order to raise money for the Bolsheviks. Overall, Stalin raised what would be about $3.4 million in modern terms. Upon Lenin's rise to power in October of 1917, his health began to fail despairingly, as did his relationship with Stalin, who Lenin observed was becoming increasingly mentally unstable. While it was rumored that Lenin had written a testament suggesting that Stalin be removed from power and warning that he would turn into a brutal tyrant, Stalin's alliance with Grigory Zinoviev and Kamenev against Leon Trotsky would have prevented such testaments from being brought forth to the 12th Party Congress. Thus, the mental state and mannerisms of Stalin went relatively unnoticed until he was able to take control of the Soviet Union. Lenin's opinion of Stalin's character and subsequent warnings that were hidden by Stalin himself paint a picture of not only an ill-fated relationship, but an ill-fated government, one that would be eventually taken over by a tyrant, and one that Lenin probably saw coming.